So we've been covering everything that's been happening in regards to the quote stimulus bills and all the efforts to actually help people, which our government has not done. Our federal government has basically what they've done more or less since day one is they said, hey, banks, here's a bunch of money. Here's trillions. Are you going to give some of this to the people? And the bank said, probably not. We don't care. And the government said, okay, we're going on vacation anyway. That's what the federal government did. Our government actively works against us. Like, it's not even saying they don't work for us. They actively work against us. We're reopening too soon. And they're saying, well, we're never going to shut down again or anything like that. We live in a capitalism death cult. And when you look at the amount that Wall Street takes in at the end of the day each year, giving people an emergency UBI would be like the equivalent of taking a speck of sand off a coastline in regards to what Wall Street takes in each year and what giving that amount of resources to people would actually, quote unquote, cost. And your government still won't do it. They would still literally rather let you die. They'd rather you die. That's not an embellishment. Like that's literally what's happening. We live in a banana republic. It is a total corporate coup. The best thing that could happen is our entire federal government is just replaced with an ATM that says Wall Street only. Then at least the subtlety would be completely gone and people would know what's really going on. Where it's like, oh, this is just an institution that exists for the 1%. And then you have the Ministry of Appeasement, which the Ministry of Appeasement is just politicians tweeting nice things that they're not going to actually fight for. So stop liking those tweets. No matter who tweets it. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Bernie Sanders. I don't care if it's AOC. I don't care if it's Ilhan Omar. I don't care if it's Tulsi Gabbard. I don't care if it's Ro Khanna. I don't care who it is. Stop liking the tweets. We need $2,000 a month. Okay, well, no one's actually fighting for it. Stop tweeting these nice policy ideas. And then people get appeased because they're like, oh, see, our government's doing something. And then we get another corporate giveaway. We get another corporate giveaway to the richest of the rich. So that's what's been going on in the United States. In other countries, they're actually looking out for their people. At least comparatively speaking, they're actually looking out for their people. I know nowhere's perfect, but compared to what they're doing in England, to what they're doing in Canada, and we are going to face severe consequences. There is a good chance 85% of businesses could be closed at this time next year. And it ain't going to be the big corporatocracy, baby. It's going to be the small businesses. It's going to be the local businesses, the members of your community. Their businesses are going to go under. And you might be walking around your neighborhood and every other block is a freaking Starbucks or a Cheesecake Factory. And that's it. And because they got an even bigger monopoly than before, because they got even more control than before, you think that's going to do much for wages? It isn't. It isn't. So, but one of the many scams that occurred throughout the course of all this was the PPP loan. Now, what those loans were loans. They were learns. They were the learns. When are we going to learn? They were the loans intended for quote unquote small businesses, but they didn't really go to small business very much because here's the deal. It was pretty much available. The program was available at a first come, first serve basis. And the way they defined small business was very, very loose. So the small business also referred to some big, big corporations, you know, like Shake Shack or Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. So who's going to get this first come, first serve money quickest? Or who's going to get it? The company that has a team of lawyers filling out all their paperwork and getting ready to submit it and hit send as soon as it becomes available online, or the actual small business that's run by someone who maybe has a family and maybe their kid's out of school and who has a handful of employees that they're worried about and is dealing with their own lives and their own shutting down their business. Who's going to get that money first? We all know who. So that's how the Triple P unrolled. And there were tons of money. It went belly up in a matter of a week. Banks just stopped giving them out because they didn't have the administrative assistance to manage it. And they just said, screw it. And then what did the government do in turn after that miserable failure? They just gave them more money. Because the banks, they still got to pay out from all this. So now people are asking for some transparency. They're saying, hey, all that Triple P money, where did it go? Who actually got it? And guess what they're doing? They're not freaking telling you. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin refuses to disclose recipients of taxpayer-funded coronavirus business loans. Building ramparts of secrecy around the $600 billion-plus coronavirus aid for small businesses, the article from USA Today does not have small businesses in quotes, but it frickin' should be in quotes, because it didn't really help small businesses at all. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin moved to delay to denial and refusing to disclose the recipients of taxpayer-funded loans. In other words, originally he was just delaying it. Now he's straight up saying, denial, we're not telling you. Mnuchin told Congress at a hearing last week that the names of loan recipients and amounts are proprietary information. It's a corporate coup. Here, banks, here's a bunch of money. Here's a bunch of money you're supposed to loan out to small businesses. Little while later, after it fails miserably, hey, did you loan this out to small businesses? We're not telling you. Why not? Because we don't want to. Okay. Wow. They're not even trying to hide it anymore, folks. This is out in the open. This is out in the open. Other countries gave their people an emergency UBI. They had wage replenishment programs where people got 75 and 80% of their salaries, enough to live. They put a moratorium on rents on small businesses. They just kind of put it on hold until the economy could recover. What did we do? We just handed the richest of the rich. By the way, billionaires have gotten $434 billion richer since this has happened. Billionaires in the United States have gotten $434 billion richer since the pandemic has occurred. Jeff Bezos is on his way to becoming the first trillionaire. Meanwhile, we have people in line for food out of the Great Depression. That's a failed state. And now when they're asking for the smallest of transparency, Steve Mnuchin is saying, no, screw you. And I guarantee the federal government will do nothing about this. Because who's saying, no, screw you, we're not telling you? Their owners are telling them that. Their owners are telling them, we're not telling you. Oh. Wow. That's a bit like they're just not. The subtlety's gone, folks. The subtlety's gone.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron.